Hey there, welcome to NZ Money Karma, where you can find freedom from the daily grind through budgeting, simple living, and adventure. It is an absolutely superb day in Ōtautahi, Christchurch, New Zealand, and I am heading to Pack and Save to do my fortnightly grocery shop. If you haven't joined me before, I love to live a simple life, an adventurous life, and a frugal life. And part of that for me normally means getting up at the crack of dawn to get into the supermarket first so I can get the very early specials. But I've done my grocery shopping in two different ways this week. I've got up early yesterday and biked to the supermarket and picked up my buns, which are the things that go on special early in the morning, and a couple of other bits and pieces, spending about $30. And now I'm taking my remaining money and on this beautiful sunny day, heading to Pack and Save Morehouse Avenue to see what I can find during normal waking hours. This grocery shop is for myself, my husband, and my two teenage kids. So I'm, in theory, having a whole $300 every fortnight to do our groceries, so $150 per week. And that's actually a bit of an improvement on what I previously had. I have, for most of the year, been trying to do it on $100 a week, but it was just getting so impossible. It was kind of doing my head in. So I've given myself a bit of leeway with $150 a week, and that seems like a much more comfortable amount, but still super frugal. There was an article last week which I saw on Stuff, and it said the average New Zealand family is spending $25,000. This is the average family of four, is spending $25,000 a year on groceries. Oh my goodness, that is an insane amount of money. And I know an average is not the same as a mean. So, that's taking the very lowest person, like me, maybe spending $100, and then someone incredibly spendy who might spend $1,000 and then coming in at $500 in the middle. But still, who as a family afford spending $25,000 on groceries? That is an insane amount of money to be spending on your weekly food shop. Anyway, I digress. I'm here to do a bargain shop at Pack and Save Morehouse Avenue, and off I go. Wish me luck. Hopefully I can nab some bargains, even though it's the middle of the day. That was a really good shop. I'm pretty pleased with what I got. I don't have much money left over, so nothing to add to the Christmas club this week. Let's jump into the boot of my car and see what we've got. First up, I've got bread, two different types. One was $1.69 and the other was $2.39. I'm going to make a nut roast or part of a nut roast with one, and I'm just going to do toasted sandwiches for the kids with the other one. Then I've got some wraps. They were on sale, and some rice crackers. So the wraps were $1.99. The rice crackers were $3.18 for two, I don't know what you'd call them, whatever that is, pack, for 2 packs of rice crackers. Next I've got chocolate chips. They were actually quite expensive, $4.99. And I got raisins for $3.99 and some cashews for $3.19. That was kind of, I don't know, luxury items, it kind of felt like. But I've looked up some new recipes and that's how much they cost. I've got a little bargain jelly for $1.45, although they used to only be 99 cents not that long ago. Next, I've got some of the things that need to be kept cool. It's not a long drive home, but I always put my meat or fish or whatever in a coolie bag. I've got some fish there. That was $16.11, and that's about a kg, and that will do us for 2 dinners. And then I've got 2 roast chickens. One was $16.30 and one was $16.49, but the chicken itself is $10 a kg. If you buy pre-cut chicken, like as in the drumsticks or breast or whatever, it's definitely in the $20 per kg. There's some ham for $3.64. A bit of mince, I'll put that in half and that will make 2 meals. And the mince was $22.33. That's not too bad. That's basically our meat for the next 2 weeks. And we've probably got some stuff in the freezer as well. Like I know I've got some chicken left over, and there might be the odd pack of sausages, something like that. Even though I've got a ton of organic flour. I've got about 25 kgs sitting in my kitchen of organic white flour. My husband's and my cholesterol was high, so we're moving away from white flour and into wholemeal. So I've got 3 wholemeal flours here, and they're $2.39 each, so $7.17, and some bran, $3.29. I've got that giant jar of peanut butter that was $13.99. That's as expensive as my organic peanut butter that I normally get, but I'm out of that and I can't reorder it yet. So that's what I've bought. I like the jar. That was kind of a selling point for me, having a big jar like that. A little tin of pineapple and some brown rice. So pineapple $1.35 and brown rice $3.19. Again, moving away from my white basmati rice, which is what I bought in a 20 kg bag. The kids still have that though. It's definitely everyone's preference. I bought some miso paste. That was only $3.99 on sale, so that was a good one. And some falafel for $7.98. I've been looking up recipes on the Heart Foundation website and got some really good new ideas, so I'm liking that a lot. I know it's easy to get stuck in that rut, isn't it? I don't know if you guys have some recipes that you'd love to share. I would certainly love to hear them if you've got some heart-healthy recipes. I've got some carrots there. They were $1.99 each. And I bought the ones in the plastic bag because they were $1 less than the free kind of ones that you put into your own bag. Not free carrots, but just they were running free. And there's a pineapple as a treat. So we're trying to eat a lot healthier. So I thought having a nice fresh pineapple at $3.99, that's comparable to buying, a rubbishy bar of chocolate or something, isn't it? Some Cadbury's chocolate for the same kind of price, but much healthier. Onions were a really good price. I got those all for $1.64, so that's definitely enough for the next couple of weeks. We love onions. And I got some mushrooms. They were $3.25. And that again is specifically for a recipe that I looked up online. I think I'm going to be making something with mushrooms and then plus, in addition, a mushroom sauce with another recipe. I've got almond milk here. I've got 3 of those and they were $2.99 each, so $8.97 all up. I really love to have almond milk. My husband likes almond milk, but the kids are going to get some cow's milk, which I'm going to get from the dairy around the corner because that's a better price than the supermarket. And there I've got 2 blocks of butter, $8.59 each. That's a sale price, so $17.89, and that's a kg of butter. And then I've got 1 kg block of cheese. That's the most budget-friendly cheese that exists in the supermarket, and that's $12.55 for the kg. I've got some mixed beans here and some chili beans. So I ended up getting 2 mixed beans and just 1 chili bean. So the mixed beans are $2.38 for the 2 I bought, and the chili beans were $2.09. And then I also had 2 tins of chickpeas, which you've just seen one of, and there comes another. They were $2.50 all up, so $1.25. And then I've got 3 tin tomatoes, and they were $2.67 for each tin. So that's pretty good. I didn't buy the organic ones. I've got to be a bit more careful with my budget at the moment, so that's something that I'm foregoing. My husband doesn't want to drink instant coffee anymore, so we've bought nicer coffee for $8.99. And there I've got some kiwi fruit, which were on sale, and they were $3.17. No one loves kiwi fruit in my house. I don't love it, but I will eat it. It's all right. It's that kind of fruit. Next I've got avocados, which I do love, $3.16. They were on sale. I can't actually remember off the top of my head exactly now, but it was something like 70-something cents. So that's pretty good. I can't complain about that. And then I did also have mandarins, and they were $5.99 for the bag. They're pretty good. I'm just going to put one aside because I really want to eat one of those. I bought mandarins just yesterday and I've already eaten about 6 of them. They're so delicious at the moment, and you don't always get that with a mandarin. Those bananas were $3.99 each, and I've got 2 of those, so just under $8 for the bananas. And then coming up, the things I always pack last, the things that are kind of very breakable, which is the old eggs. So there's 18 eggs in there, and they were $12.99. That was the best price eggs, per egg. I always look to see how much is it per egg, is it 70 cents or is it more, The the toilet paper was on sale, so that was really good. That was $11.98 for both lots of toilet paper. And there's my last pack of wraps, which I couldn't find. So I had one that I packed at the beginning and one that I've packed at the end. So those wraps were $1.99. So yeah, not too bad at all. I'm pretty happy with that shop. It's time for me now to head home, unpack it. I know everyone absolutely loves walking in the door on shopping day and looking in the cupboards and seeing what new things we have. But before I get started, I'm just going to take a moment to peel my mandarin and just quickly eat it before I jump in the car and get back home and then have to kind of start with the rest of my day. Delish. Yum. Can't wait to get into that. So that was $262.51 I've spent, and that's pretty much cleaned me out between today's shop, yesterday's shop, and what I'll spend on getting cow's milk for the kids. How did your shop go? Have you done your shopping this week? I would love to know how much you're spending, if it's comparable. Otherwise, I look forward to catching you in my next video. Bye for now.